Hi, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another interesting episode of your show, my show, and everybody's show, The Issues. And on this segment of this episode of The Issues, I have my boss is in the building. You can see them calmly seated and looking radiantly handsome. You know what it means? When you have talent on your left, on your right, you don't have a choice other than to be looking so smart. So, guys, you're welcome today. So, on my left, I have a powerful, I don't want to say crazy photographer, but man, this guy's work is out of this world. It's made in Niger, made in Ilorin, made in Kwara, but man, this guy is already in the world. And on my right, I don't have women. I have super talented UI, UX, designer. So they are designers and men, they are designers. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sitting back. And first I want to say sorry for coming late on this episode. We have technical issues, itches, and I know my guys have fixed that, and we are good to go. So, hello guys. How far? I see you guys will smile now. What's happening? So, on my left, I told you I have. Funny enough, both of them are single and searching, right? I like people. You are not searching. So I have one searching and one not searching. So one is fixed, one is ready, and one is already off the market. Two off the market, one in the market, because I'm also not searching. So so ladies and gentlemen, quick introduction. I'm going to be starting from the super duper talented photographer, and I'm going to be reading his profile to you. One of the things I love to do in this my chosen career is reading people's profile. You guys, you will not believe, I read one profile sometimes ago when we were old, when I was anchoring an event at Zero to Hero. My brother, I got to the third page, not the top paragraph, the third page of the profile. And I just had to tell the man, I said, sir, sorry, at this junction, I have to just summarize your profile. That's Dr. Muritala Awodun, the former chairman of KWRS. This profile is rich. So, this profile I'm going to read is also very rich, but I'm going to, permit me to summarize it in 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, please. Thank you so much. So, guys, I'm behind my camera. I have I'm always very ready to work. Director of programs, Tomiwa Agbede, and my super baby is behind the camera and making sure everything is perfect. Esther Obugo. You know, I like inter-ethnic things. I'm Yoruba and I have a sweet Igbo girl. Oh, he choked die. So let me bore you with a lot of my fantasies. But this evening I'm super excited to have a freelancer photographer, filmmaker, domestic tourism developer, domestic tourism tourist developer, content creator, and a licensed health information manager. Wow. He founded Sultan Visuals, a fast rising and reputable media brand. He also founded Visit Kwara, a platform where he showcases Kwara State to the world. Also, he co-founded Time Travelers, a domestic tour company. He headed photography department during his time at the National Youth Service Corps camp in 2019. Soon afterwards, he was awarded as the best documentary photographer in the year 2019 by the Kwara State Association of Photographers. Also, he was nominated as the best creative media brand in 2020. Oh my God. His profile boasts of visual calls, collaborations with and for ABK brand at ABK brands at DHUB Nigeria, Moaba Apparel, at Time Travels, Visit Quara, Diamond FM, Pick That Trash, Base Planet, the Grassroots Aid Initiative, Security and Emergency Management Award, Campus Journalism Award, hey, Vic Food Recyclers, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as I introduce to you Abdurrahman Yusuf Dolapo. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here this evening.
You know what? Something I like about talented people, they don't talk too much. Yeah, it's only empty barrel that makes a loud noise. So, ladies and gentlemen, on my right, you can see him always busy with his phone. He told me one time he happened to be a pastor too. He was preaching to us sometime in church. He said, everything you need is on your phone. I was like, wow, everything I need is on my phone. That means I can actually eat on my phone. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second time I've been bringing my friend on air. And I told you, he's a brand designer, strategist, and UI UX designer. His work is guided by a strong passion for problem solving and value creation. He has helped a number of businesses with positioning for great sales in the market, ranging from SMEs to large corporations. He is currently the creative director of Benovative, a brand strategy design consultancy firm. When Bamishe is not designing, on his status you see, I am designing. He's always designing. Even when he's sleeping, he's designing. We'll catch him speaking or watching funny food vendors or videos. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as I make welcome to another interesting episode of our show, Bamishe Taiwo Emmanuel. Bamishe, say something now. You have been smiling since morning.
Well, I must just say that I'm really glad to be here. This is the second time that I'll be here, and it has always been a time to reflect, to at least put a test to the things that you've learned and the experiences that you've gone through in life, and just share with people, and trust that some people will use that information very well to grow.
So, Sultan was actually very instrumental to our official launch of Zazzy Foundation. Yeah, he voluntarily, without even charging us a dime, he took all the pictures. And all the pictures were excellent pictures. Funny enough, I wasn't expecting him to send us the picture that same day. Under 2 hours, I just saw a message. You can check your pictures now. Wow, the pictures were dope. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to be a Nigerian. I'm not only proud to be Nigerian, I'm proud to have gentle guys doing great things in Nigeria. Prior to 2019 election, we were told the difference between being a Niger boy and a Nigerian boy. The Niger boy is the hustling Nigerian straight boy. The Nigerian one is the one in those offices stealing our money. So, and I've always known that we are not just Nigerian youths. We are youthful and we are serious. Because it's not easy to be youthful at this time when you are not pressing laptop beside illegally from people. You are busy putting your head together to make something very interesting for yourself. So, we are going to go straight without wasting any time. But what we are going to be discussing today is youthful relevance on Nigeria's economy. You can see we're in the 21st century where everything is on the high side. Even brands designing now is high. Photography too. Everything done be expensive. So I think I contacted Bamishe for graphics that he told me 10,000. I was like, one graphics. You are hard color coding. And I know I know if Sultan wants to do a shoot for you, he's not going to be charging you less than 5 zeros, right? Yes, so I don't want to tell him how much he's going to charge you, but I know he's going to charge you real good. Because see, it's good to place premium on whatever you do. Like Bamishe always says, everything has to be premium. So if everything is premium, you charging people, you're not even be scared of charging people. But when you don't
If you are delivering value,
you put premium on that value so that Nobody can take it for granted. So, guys, I have youths who actually, I think there is nowhere these guys have not gone to. And funny enough, they have traveled far and wide while seated in their comfort zone. And hey, I want them to give me money. That's why I'm hyping them. Like, it's not only hyping them, I'm telling you reality. So, Sultan, uh, I've seen your work. I think I started following you way back almost 2 years now. When you had this, when you shot this Asadam, the dam at Asadam, that dam at 2019, and that was about 2 years ago. And I was wow, almost 2 year Sultan Vision. Wow, this is excellent job, perfect job. So, Sultan, can you tell us how you actually gained all of this passion from all the fine fine things of this, all the fine fine industries? Because photography also is an industry now. How did you result to okay? I want to finally go into photography.
Thank you so much. Actually, I found photography in 2016. Yeah. So it was then I completed an entrepreneurship class. I went to Lagos for IT. Then I started developing on the side shooting and all of that. When I got to Lagos, I saw all the different things working on and I thought of what to do. Sorry. So I noticed I love taking pictures of myself. Why getting ready to school, I just have asked myself to snap I want to use them as other social media platform. So I felt like, oh, I think photography is my calling. So I started browsing about it. So then I got to know that photography gears are actually expensive. Because I never thought that cameras are quite expensive. I just thought, it's not all these photographers that will come to events uninvited self. You will come and snap, you wait and you get your pictures. So when I saw the price, I was shocked. I was like, why am I going to get this money to start? So while doing that, I got to read stories about some prominent photographers, those that are doing well. That was when I found this story of Bayo Moboreo.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, to the president of Nigeria. So I read I read the story. So how it started from grass to grace. I also came across excuse me. I also came across the story of this a well-known music video director K. He has worked with so many superstars in the industry, in the music industry. I think recently he directed this music video Essence by Whiskey. Whiskey featuring this lady. What's her name? Uh, he directed that video and he has worked with so many people as well. So he started this journey by creating music videos with a selfie stick and iPhone. So I saw that, oh, so what's stopping me? I have a phone. I think I can start something with my phone. So I started taking pictures with my phone in 2017. Started posting on my platform, WhatsApp, Facebook, and I was getting comments from people saying, oh, do you have a camera already? This is nice. So I was really impressed. That was motivating me to keep documenting and all that. So I started taking pictures in 2017, and in 2019 I got my first camera. So after getting my camera in 2019, I felt, this is the time to work. This is time to work. So my passion for photography actually fueled my passion for exploration as well. Because at the time when I started officially, because I used to say I started officially in 2019, I wasn't getting jobs. I was just starting out, trying to, learn, trying to know what the industry entails, the business of photography, all of that. So I started going to places. I think the first place I went to was Sobi Hill. That was my second time actually. I went to Sobi Hill. I took pictures, posted it online. I think people liked the picture. And I organized a trip to Sobi Hill. Some of my friends. Actually, the turnout was not impressive. Yeah, exactly. So the turnout was not that impressive. So I think I had like, I think 7 people turn up. I wanted to cancel the trip, but I said no. So I actually called some of my friends to come and augment the numbers. So we were like 12. Even my brothers were available for the trip as well. So we just went to Sobi Hill. We took pictures, and we had fun. So going to Amsterdam, I think I actually went to Amsterdam by accident.
So that picture came out as an accident.
Mm,
Not that it was planned.
it wasn't planned. The thing is, I have a friend that, okay, I think it was during Salah period, the big Salah in 2019. So I posted on my Twitter that I need friends that will accompany me to go for the Dover. So that was my first time going for Dover. I never knew that the event is that elaborate. So I couldn't meet up with some friends, so we had to postpone our meet up after the Dover. So I think it was the third day of Salah. I met a friend who came down all the way to Kaduna for Salah in Ilorin. So we were looking for a place to explore because we don't want to go into restaurants. And so she just mentioned Amsterdam. I was like, oh, I've not been there. Let's go and see what is there. So my intention was actually to snap her at the dam. I never knew the dam was that beautiful, and I mean, people don't really know much about it.
Can I call you short?
Okay. Okay.
One thing I discovered about photography is I'm not very good at taking pictures. I'm not actually very good at taking pictures, but I just discovered a lot of guys now have these real nice cameras. And I think my director of programs will testify to this. I think when I had my proposal, I think the pictures I took with phones were better than the pictures one Skope photographer took me. You know, funny enough, I couldn't even use it for the main event. I couldn't use it because I felt this is trash. Are you getting it? So I think people have to learn this thing. After you discovered yourself, you went into training, right? So, like what you told us now, you started 2016, but you didn't shoot to limelight until 2019, where you called yourself official photographer. I love. See, I love that because you took three years. It's not easy, you know. Some people once they start to take pictures and they believe I want 1 or 2, 3 pictures. Oh yeah, professional. You know all those things. I believe life is a process, and if you are watching us from anywhere you are, you will believe that you have to trust the process. If you don't trust the process, you will fumble. So I want to cut you short because I have a lot of questions to ask you from what you have told me now. So I want you to take a water break. Just take water. Don't worry. I want to switch to my right because I see he has been looking at you and be boy in your photo in 2016. Okay, kilo shele go. So Bamishe, you know I was not able to ask you the last time what actually pushed you into graphic design. You only told us that you only I was just looking at YouTube, and before I knew it, I developed myself. I've seen a lot of your work, and I must say, I think when you even designed for the issues, somebody said, it can only be Bamishe. Yes. You know, me, I don't actually deceive people. If somebody say, yeah, this is Bamishe. Because you have a trademark. You know, when you have when you give premium to what you do, like you say, you have something you are known for. And I've told people several years that people don't buy mediocrity, they buy excellence. And if you are not trying to portray excellence, nobody is ready to buy anything you're doing. So Bamishe, we've heard from Sultan. What pushed you into okay? Me, I did not even see anything. You have I want to believe you have opportunity to do Yahoo, but you didn't do Yahoo. You picked another level of Yahoo, which is branding. What pushed you into graphic design?
If I can remember vividly, we were having, I think that should be in 2013, 14, right? We were having.
No, funny enough, 2013 was the first time I had a field show. I nearly cried. Sorry to cut you.
We're having a teenage program in church, and there was no money for the program. It was the first time that we're having the program, so we're trying to find ways to carry some things ourselves and carry it out. So it got to a certain point. 2013, I should be uh, between 20, let's say 17, 17, 18. Let's say 17, 18. You understand? So I just picked it up, and then I used PowerPoint to design. It was Microsoft PowerPoint I used to make the design. I've still seen the design, and when I see it, I'm like, come on. But one of the things that, when I reflect on it now, is that and that's why in my profile I put problem solving, because one of the things that inspires me to do a particular job, no matter what it is that there is a problem and there's a need for a solution, right? And I just volunteer to solve that problem, because one of the things that I've understood and noticed is that in problem solving, sometimes that's where you discover your purpose, you discover your vision, you discover some certain things that you're supposed to do in life, right? And that was where my journey for graphics design started. So after I did that, I had my Sunday school teacher then, Mr. Adekoya. He was into printing, and he knew a little bit about design. Before then, I had a friend, Peter. Peter Ogunleye is a fashion design. He's a fashion designer now. Peter Ogunleye, he introduced me to Photoshop. He told me that, have I seen Photoshop? That's what people are using to design now. I'm like, I've not heard anything about Photoshop. Then he gave me the software. I installed it on my system. I started to play with it. And once I built my interest in something, like all of me is into it. So I started to, then there was no money because I wasn't working. There was no money that was coming in. So I always do night sub. So in my night sub, so when everybody else is sleeping, I'm using night sub to download tutorial videos. Like a lot of tutorial videos. I can download close to like 10 tutorial videos overnight. Then when I'm done downloading them, when I see one that catches my interest, it can be that video that I'll watch till I sleep off, right? So that was how my journey started and all. But when I went for IT, that was when it dawned on me that I needed to start doing something that is going to bring money in for me. I needed to start making money with what I do, right? Because that was the time that I was at home.
I have a place where we'll be talking about monetizing your talent after discovering them. One of the things I discover in life is before you can monetize whatever passion or talent you have, you must have worked to a level that people begin to see you and say, even if this guy is going to charge me, I think it's worth it. It's not like, okay, some people charge you and you be like, diesel, so thank you guys for what you have been able to do so far for yourself and for your society. If you go on YouTube now, if you go on Instagram, just type Sultan visuals. You see Sultan's work will come up. If you go on Benovative, you see Bamishe's work coming up. I've seen a lot of designs he has done so far. And this is showing us that, okay, we don't have to depend on our parents before we can get things done. Like what they have said so far now, I've not seen where they say, my mommy had to beat me to picking this passion, this dream of mine before I can just say, okay, I want to do this for myself. It's passion. And one of the things I like to advise our parents is don't try to force your children to do a particular here's what they are not interested in, because at the end of the day they are not going to give you that result you want. I know of a girl was telling me, I was going to Kwasu to drop them some times ago. She told me, she said, this public health I'm studying in Kwasu, I want to collect certificate and go and give my mom, and when I give her, I'm going to Lagos to start acting. I said, oh, okay, so your 4 years is for your parents, but you guys have been able to, okay, over time. So from there now, going to you now, Sultan. I read something on TikTok yesterday. and it says research has shown that there are over 2 billion pictures on Facebook daily, which shows the power of photography. Wow, 2 billion. And it says WhatsApp also processes over 900 million pictures. And then WhatsApp is after Facebook now. You must have WhatsApp after. So, what do you think is the future? Or before we talk about the future of photography, what can you say about the evolution of photography? What can you say about the evolution of photography?
In Nigeria, right? I think the last decade, photography has actually transformed from what we know photography today. And I think the likes of Bayo, the likes of George Okoro, the likes of Big H, actually they actually created a footprint for us to follow. So we are actually banking on that and improving on what's on ground. So photography has really transformed the last decade, and the industry is rapidly growing because this is something that people are actually taking as a profession. This is something that is having as a source of livelihood for people. I mean, photographers are getting married, like they have the confidence to tell their in-laws that, oh yeah, I'm a photographer. So I don't think this is actually. Of course, because they feel like the profession is not enough to bank on for you to go into marriage.
Photography has left the era of Tobashi Jokoni Wabara in the photo. You see that picture I sent to you for my graphics design? That was not the clothes I wore. Yeah, but the guy repackaged, put me on suit, put everything on me, and it was woo. When I saw it, I said, I find like this money good. So I think you have been able to tell us over time. You guys have been able to work things out. Because I think photographers now charge close to more than 100K for shoot. I know you're charging me $1 million for my wedding. Well, I'm actually going to use you. Yes. So I think it has over time evolved, and we can see the impact because I think it has evolved because you guys now use different accessories. I priced one camera, a very small one, tiny thing like that. They said it's $5,000. I dropped it so that it will not break in my hand. They will not say hold me when I'm. So you can see that over time. Photography has, and like you said, you can now go to your in-law, like I know you are getting married very soon. You can now say, I used to call my friend Dolade Oluya. Say Oluya. You can now say, yes, I'm a proud Oluya. I snap picture for a living. Unlike those days, you cannot go and say Monya photo. Even if I were to be them out, Monya photo. Photo. Oh, serious? You know. You know, there was one time I think they said people that go to learn work it was like punishment if they put you in learning all this. It's like Chebo fell law school. I don't know, but now it's pride. Okay, photo. You go to people. I don't want to mention their name because they didn't pay for the advert. Yeah. You can you are here. I can go to visual Sultan Visuals. You can pay 100, 200 to learn. Because you know it's not going to be a waste. So I want to say thank you for what you guys have been doing, and I know when you give me this cansha. So let's quickly look at what you guys have been doing in your industry, because I have two industries here now. I have the photography industry, cinematography, and all encompassing, and I have the brand strategists. I told you I will not call you for graphic designer, brand strategist. Yes. So I want us to first, because I have a lot of things on my plate, but I want us to look at the effect of color on brands. The effect of colors on brands. Because I've seen, not Zazzy will not do that. Let's say Zazzy starts with black color today. Tomorrow you see Zazzy concepts, you see red. 2 days after, Zazzy concepts, you see green. So what can you say about brands and color?
All right. So when there are different elements that make up a brand identity system. There are different elements that make up a brand identity system. Yes. One of them is your logo, your pattern, your color, your typography, you know, the kind of images that you use, your photography, you know. So when you contract, when you give a job to a brand designer to carry out that project for you, one of the things that he considers and one of the things that he puts into play is understanding what your business is about and choosing the right colors that effectively tell the story of your brand, right? If you are basically, there's something that is called color psychology. There's something that is called color psychology, right? And if you study color psychology, is been shown that there are when you expose people to different colors, there are different feelings that evolve from those colors, right? Yes, there are different feelings that evolve from those colors. When you put somebody in a room with sky blue kind of color, right? The person feels welcome. The person feels in that space. The person feels it feels calm, right? It feels serene, right? If you expose somebody to color red, it's been shown that color red is a color for passion, right? It's a color for energy. Is a color for a lot of things that come with power. You understand? When you have black, it can mean elegance. It can mean so all of those colors. It can. But the interesting part is that once you contract, you give a project, a branding project to a brand designer to carry out for you, and he chooses a particular color because of his professionalism and understanding of branding. He chooses the right color for you to use for your brand. Now, when you are now in the process of telling your story effectively and trying to create an identity for yourself in the marketplace, one of the things that is cogent and important is consistency, right? That's why you never see Coca-Cola switch their brand color from red and start using green, right? Everything that you see about Coca-Cola is red, is white, and the content of their Coca-Cola, which is the black stuff, right? You never see Coca-Cola wake up one day and say, we are changing to green, right? It's because there is brand consistency. So when you see, apart from the logo, when you just see a Coke bottle with their color, you can immediately say that this is Coca-Cola. That is because they've sticked to their brand identity over time, and it has stayed in the minds of their audience, and their audience already understand that when I see this, I know that this is this brand. I know that this is this particular brand. So it is important that when you have, the first thing that is important is have a brand designer work on your branding for you, right? When you're starting a business, have a brand designer work out your brand identity for you, so that when you eventually evolve and erupt and blow in the market space in which you have your audience can identify your product, can identify your company in the saturated market that you have, right? So that's why sticking to color. So changing color, when you have red today, you have white tomorrow, you have black next tomorrow, people can't really tell who you are, right? And you might be sending the wrong feeling for your products, right? If you are into agriculture, and instead of you using green kind of color, shades of green for your brand, you are now using black for agriculture. Like, it doesn't just strike a chord. Like, there's no elegance in agriculture. You understand what I'm trying to say?
For that insight, I am blown away. I actually don't know much about color psychology, And one of the some of the things I've written here, I have a brand identity system. That's BIS, and I have color psychology. Then Sultan talked about footprint. Then Sultan, while he was talking, because I want us to look at photography now and storytelling. Everything evolves around telling a story. It's about narratives, creating a narrative on, okay, this is what I'm trying to tell you, but I want to tell you this story photographically. So what can you say about using photographs to tell stories?
Um, I think in most cases pictures actually speak for itself. So that's why you see people tagging themselves as visual storytellers. That means you don't necessarily have to write any story about the picture because the picture already, I mean, speak for itself. So that's why before telling stories, it's a picture. You need to understand what you want to achieve with your storytelling. If you want to create a story about um, women in a learning, what do you want to achieve with the story? We have so many women in a learning. You need to niche down to a particular to a certain story that you want to achieve. You need to niche down to something in particular that people can identify. Oh, once they see this story, they know. Oh, this is relating to women in the grassroots. So that's what I can say about that.
Talking about storytelling,
Okay.
because I see we have a lot of. Thank you. Because I think we have a lot of photographs, and you as a professional, like there was a time, like once I like, okay, let's take Visit Quara as a basis now. Like if I've not been to a Lauren before, but I saw you post a picture about Jeba. I schooled in Bashita for my secondary school, so I think I know that axis. But I do know I have not been to that island before. But when you shot it, I asked you, where is this? You said it's Quara. I said Qua waiting. How Quara? Yes, because I want to believe like what you have said now. You used that picture to tell a story about Quara, that there is island in Quara. I think that was one time you went to Pateji. So I follow you. One thing about me is once I pick interest in a particular brand, I follow them to the letter. So sometimes I will just watch once you post. There's if you people that use my phone very well, you'll see that I don't check people's WhatsApp stories. But once a particular set of people post, I know they have content to dish out. So once I go straight to their once you post, I check because I know these people have placed premium. And most times now, what you see on WhatsApp story is annoyance. You see, somebody has offended. You don't have to call the person and say you offended me. You want to send it to your WhatsApp story. And me, I told somebody something. I said, if me I'm this guy, but if you send message to me on WhatsApp status, it will just be there. I know the same. So I see that creating that you have used that to create like what you said now.
So I said at the same time I've used that opportunity to reveal and document.
Reveal and document. Because one of the things you do is you're documenting Quora. Either we see the benefit now or we don't see it now. What you have done so far has shown people that there is if there's anybody that wants to invest in tourism in Quora now, there's more to Quora than just civil service. Quora State has been tagged civil servant state for over time. And you wonder, but with what you guys are doing, with your pictures and everything, you can say, okay, so I can actually go to Quora and make money. Yeah. See, when I came for vacation, like I'm still on vacation, like I went for I'm not married, but I want to say I went for honeymoon at Landmark Beach. Hey? They charge us for everything. Oh. To sit down, self, they charge us 6K. To just sit down. If we like what you guys are doing now, somebody can invest. So before you know it, increases our IGR in Quara. I put something on my Twitter. I said people that are just going into eatery in Quara Center. I think in Quara has the largest. I can say Ilorin has the largest number of eateries in the whole world, in the whole of Nigeria now. Because everywhere eatery, now food. Nobody's looking at tourism. Nobody's looking at tourism. But I told somebody, I said, you just invest in me. I just gonna make Kwara State government. Can you borrow me water view? Let's make money out of it. So we are actually what we are doing this evening is we are looking at a useful impact on Nigeria's economy, and so far this brilliant chap have been able to tell us that okay, with what we have been doing so far in Nigeria, there is hope for Nigeria. On my left, I have a photographer, a storyteller, and on my right, I also have another interesting storyteller, but he's using branding to tell his own story. Because soon I want to see you as Lanre Olushola. We're looking at LinkedIn with my director of programs. I was telling him, say, see this guy. This guy is crazy. This guy talks about branding. And Baba, when he analyzes the, I was just wish. Now person get brain like this. So the kind of people I was. So viewers at home, you are still on the issues, and I have brilliant child here. I have on my right, I have Sultan Abdulrazak Dolapo, Abdurrahman Dolapo. Sorry, I don't want. I'm attaching you to the governors. Abdurrahman Dolapo, and on my right, I have Bamishe Taiwo, and my name is Adewumi Adewumi. We're going to take a commercial break now for 5 minutes so that they can take water, and we're going to be back to give you hot. But when we come back, we're going to be talking about content creation. We're going to be talking about content and context. Then we're going to be looking at audio visuals. Then you guys doing this, I want to believe there must be remunerations like money. Then we'll now look at let's now look up about the medium, the media, and how you have been able to use that for effective content distribution. So when we come back, we're going to be looking at that. But for now, we're going on a short break of 2 minutes so that we can actually rub mind while we are behind the camera. And I know my director of program is ready to give you some adverts. Thank you so much. I remain yours, Adewumi Adewumi. I will hope to see you in the next 2 minutes. Thank you. So thank you guys. We are back, and so far it has been interesting on this episode of the issues. So I am yours, Adewumi. I have my friends on the left, on the right. I have smart guys. I've said severally that I hate to work with dollars because the moment you keep too many dollars in your zone, you'll be the number 10. If you have nine, you are the number $10. So even if you want to dish out content, premium content, you will not be able to dish out it because you have league of dollars. And I've said it several that once individual creativity is lost, you don't expect collective creativity because what you're supposed to bring together, nobody get them. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this informative, educative, and entertaining edition. All the issue, and you can see that issues now need sponsors because this is not. If you see behind the camera, our camera is mad, and people behind the camera are also madder. All our gadgets are the maddest, at least for now. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us back. We are remaining yours, with Titus. On my left, I have Abdurrahman Dolapo, the one and the only brain behind Sultan Visuals. And on my right, I have my very good, gentle, calmly seated Oyo friend, Bamishe Taiwo Emmanuel. So, welcome back, guys. So, on this, for the next 15 minutes, we're going to be talking about content creation. We're going to be talking about content and context, and we're going to be talking about audio visuals, and we're also going to be talking about your brand values. So, in the next 15-20 minutes, we're going to be talking about this. And so, we're not taking much of your time. We don't even intend to take your time, but I know you're going to take one or two things home, and you're going to sponsor the next episode of the issues. So, should I start from? Should I throw a dice and start from? Okay. So, thank you, Sultan. From the comment section, I've seen people that I think you have a lot of insightful and useful to say, to dish out. So let's talk about content and content creation. Before you can put your content together, what are the things you consider? What are your consideration? Okay, before I shoot Zazzy, let me consider one or two things. What are the things you consider? Then you now link it up with having good gadgets. How has that helped you so far? From starting from using your, what was the name of that phone you were using that time? I know it's not iPhone. I use China phone. So China get us to that. My phone last time had King Fly. You see, it's that my phone had TV, it had radio, it had, if you ring here, you go here for challenge. So how have you been able to evolve over time with content creation and your gadgets?
Firstly, talking about content creation, I think what, in my own perspective, what content creation really entails is you turning your ideas into something that will be readily available for your audience to see or to hear. Yes, turning your ideas into something that will be readily available for your audience to see, to hear, or whatever medium you want to pass the message. So, um, talking about content creation, your creative process also determine the kind of content you are putting out there. For me, it's photography. So my creative process is before I go out to create content, I actually need to understand why am I creating this? Who are my target audience? You understand? Is there value in this? Because if your content is not valuable, people will not find value. So you as an artist, firstly, you need to find value in what you're doing. So you have the confidence that once you push the content outside, you already have the whole confidence that, oh, this, I know that this is going to go far. So we're talking about gadgets. I think people used to say the best camera you have is a camera at hand. Camera you have is a camera at hand. So you don't necessarily have to own a gadget worth millions to create a premium content. I think the major thing is about you, the artist. You have the right skill. How creative are you? Stuff like that. So if the best thing you have, if the only camera you have is your phone camera, you can still create something. Keep creating. And I think sometime 2019, there's this photographer I follow, the Lagos based photographer. He actually published a book, and all the pictures in that book, he created those images with his mobile phone. And Adibin, he didn't mention that. I'm sure nobody will know that these pictures were actually created with a mobile phone. So the major thing is about you, the artist, be creative, and I mean, get the right skill as well. So the gadget is not really the most important. I can give you the best gadget in the world, and you will not give me the best image in the world. So let me stop here.
Okay. So which means if that means the best gadget is in the wrong hands. Because if I'm giving you the best gadgets, like the experience I had during my proposal, at the time when they were shooting me, light went off. So they were using camera. I think Tomiwa, my director of graphic program was. He's always with me. He was I thought it would be working on Yam. That's why we could not even. I know if you've been following me on my Facebook, I said, watch out for the picture. Picture will no come out soon. They watch out. No, they see they watch. So if you have like what you have said now, it's not about the gadget you have. It's about how best you can make use of what you have at hand. That is what they say that it's like I think I want to relate that to you saying having money by faith. Money no day your account. You say, Inshallah, by the grace of God, I'm buying this car tomorrow. Okay, how much did that account? So thank you. I think from what Sultan has been able to tell us so far, he said the best camera you have is the one at hand. He also said you have to be creative as an artist. I think all of us here are artists. Benevut- uh, Innovative is an artist. Innovative. I think if you are not creative, nobody wants to. So, thank you, Sultan, for. And shortly before I go on, if you want to follow, these guys are on social media. Sultan is on social media, and his social media handle is Sultan underscore visuals on Facebook, on Twitter, and on IG. You follow him, and also visit Choir. Open visit Choir. I have visit Choir is also on Instagram, IG, and Facebook. So you can follow them. And let me tell you something, Sultan. Can you work with a discount for people following this event so that when they have event, they can actually okay. I listen to you on Zazzy concepts are the issues. Okay, so you can just send a DM to him, tell him you joined for the live section on youthful impacts on Nigeria's economy, and I'm very sure he's going to give you discount. So Bamishe, over to you now. We're talking about content creation. I want us to look at content and context comparison. Content and context. They are two different. I believe they are two different things. There's a way you can use a content that it will mean something different in the context, and another context will be telling you something different. So, what can you say about content and context, then content creation?
Um, I believe that everybody is creating content every day. When I say everybody is creating content every day, we're all living a life. We're expressing our lives. We're doing different things, different ways that we are. It might be creative. It might not be creative. We're giving out content every day, right? Um, But now the thing about creating content for what you do or expressing who you are is that you are you are um you are customer centric. You have your audience um you have your audience in mind when you are creating a particular content, right? And I feel like that's what creating content in context actually means, right? Um, you must have the best interest of your audience at heart, right? Like Sultan said, before you create any content, before you dish out any content, right? You've you've sat down, you've marked out, you've made a chart of the things that you want to do, who it is for, and the value that is in it, right? Yeah, having so when you once you know all of those things, right? You know that this is the content I'm creating, this is the value that is in it, this is the audience that it's for, right? You would make sure that the message of that content is communicated effectively, right? And that's where having your creative skill now comes into play, right? Such that you are able to communicate that this is what I'm doing, this is who I'm doing it for, and this is the value that is in it, right? For example, like Sultan said, the picture that he takes of Kwara State, right? Um, First, the intent, I believe that the intent was to expose people to different part of Quora that they've not seen, right? That's that's a content. Then it's for Quora, it's for people in Quora State and for people outside Quora State, right? That's the audience. But he has to make sure that that intent is communicated effectively, that at the end of the day, when people are seeing that, they're able to pick the value and they're able to pick the message, the context of why he's creating that content, right? But most of the time, the things that I've seen for creatives and for people that are in business is that there is no much, there is the, and my statistics might not be correct, but a few number of people don't sit down to do put a lot of thinking into the content that they are creating before they create the content, right? Because you can create a content, the intent might be good, but the context and the way in which you are dishing it out is coming. And see, that's why some people will post something online. They had a good intent, but the way they communicated it was not carrying the message that they really wanted to carry out, right? And that's why you need to understand your audience. You need to know why you are doing it, and you need to make sure that that message is communicated in it, right?
What can I do without these guys? Thank you. The contents you guys have been dishing out has been. I want to borrow your words. So, about you just understand. I think the need for us to be critical in our thinking before creating content. I think that is one of the things that young guys now need to put into their business. It's not going to be business as usual because of the uprise of social media. Because you cannot just snap anything and put out there. I know. Let me tell you something. Before I started following, that picture you took made me okay. One of my friends actually posted it. Bakari Caleb said this is Quara. Before I knew it, somebody else posted. Quara. I think I showed you on Sunday, right? That this person see what. So it takes a lot of creativity. That is why I like the way he started his journey into photography. Started way back 2016. He didn't call himself a professional until 2019. He allowed the process to he allowed himself to grow into this process. You're not just carrying camera and saying only photo only me, and you are just messing around, messing around with people. And you also started. You didn't just launch it. You you saw a problem and you created a solution to it.
Fact, um, when I started designing, um, I had not opened. I had been creating a lot of designs for people, but I didn't have an Instagram page at the time. So it was just something that I did for people around. And before I had an Instagram page, and I started to put out things there. And later, when I began to have more experience and I began to study more and I began to expose myself to good designers in the industry, right? I began to see that the things that I thought were right were actually not right, right? And the point I'm trying to make now is that the way we start our journey is quite important. One of my mentors is going to tell me that before you put your hands on any skill, first of all, amass so much wealth of knowledge about what you want to do before you go into it, so that when you're executing projects, you are executing your project um, accurately and with excellence on it, right? So, and that's where the growth process comes into play, that you have to take time. It doesn't just happen. It takes time. And in fact, I can say that I've not even gotten there. I've not, because I've seen people. I have mentors in this design industry, in this branding industry, that are quite good, and they also have people that they are looking forward to. You understand? So it's a continuous learning process that we need to daily put into our lives and all. So it took time. I had to even pull down some of my posts on Instagram. Yeah, I was going to say that also, that um, one of the scary things about social media is, if you don't want the content to be online, if you don't want to be addressed by a particular content that you are putting online, don't even put it online, because the social media and people have a way of fishing out the things that you've put out for years, and you now try. If you start contradicting yourself after some few years, they can pull your post and say you said this so year, right? And that's what we do for our politicians these days. You said something so time, we're pulling it and putting it in your face that this is what you said, but you are going against it. So if you don't want the content to fly, don't even put it out at all.
Actually, when I think on my Instagram page, I used to have about 1,456 posts. One day I just sat, I discovered, hey, hey, what is your memes? Meme you. I started to delete them. So until I had 250 Bible posts that tells you what I do. So if you check my Instagram page now, you see, okay, is it I'm talking about the issues or I'm talking about Zazzy Pound? Even on my Facebook, just that Facebook, I don't have that time because of I have invested 6 years of political posting and ranting. Yeah, I can't put the, but I think from since November till date, I've not been posting anything because I know even if I'm going to be doing anything political, it's going to be maybe 2023 or thereabout. So I think from what you have said, I think it's very important that anything you wouldn't want to have in the public space, don't post. Actually, good for if you're watching us, is actually a nugget that you need to. Yeah. So we need to. So I don't want us to take much of our time now because we. Oh, this is almost 10 minutes to 9. And it's also very late. So I don't want us to. So I have a lot of things on my plate. I want to bug you guys, but I won't do. I'm not going to go live, but so Tan, after creating this, I want you. Let's talk about effective. We have talked about content. We have talked about creating content. We have talked about critical. So it's very absurd for you to sit down and think critically, and after creating nice piece, you keep it to yourself, and you're the only one reading it. Say, "Ha, emi mo kọ eléyìí." Yeah. Why can't you just dish it out? So we're going to be looking at how were you able to effectively distribute your content? What were the mediums? What were the channels? Because by the grace of God, I am a communication graduate. So I understand to a level what communication is, interpersonal or interpersonal, what the view communication is. I understand how you can send out information from your sender to the receiver, then vice versa. But communication has to be by camera. It has to be two-way. Even when you are silent, I want to understand that you are communicating to. Yeah. So, Sultan, what are the medium that you think it's most effective for content distribution in your own field as a cinematographer, as a photographer, and as yeah, also a content. What are the medium?
Another thing is not leaving. Like I'm not about your content. Whether you're getting someday. So when I started pushing out my content, I started pushing it out on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter. So I later got to know that that is the best platform that works for me. I have more audience on Twitter. Exactly. Exactly. So these are the platforms that I post content. Exactly.
Tell me your DM. I don't know if it has happened to you. And one of the places where I don't have good traction is my LinkedIn. But I'm not actually getting discouraged with with that fact. I don't have traction from my LinkedIn. I still make sure that I post on it. So thank you, Sultan, for that nugget that we should not say because we are not all using it. We just use one channel of distribution for our content. It has to be all. You have to make use of all of your uh, social media handles over time. Gigs can be coming out from there. I think there was one time one of my sister had this Oxley show. Do you know I didn't know any song Oxley sang, except for until we went for media tour, and the presenter, knowing fully whether I've been on radio for some time, asked me and said, "Can we vibe to this thing together?" I had to tell him, "Okay, now only aware is happy." So that is telling us about content and how you. And I think what that guy even said, social media helped him because he started creating waves for himself during lockdown. I think social media even helped us during this lockdown, and that is where everybody switched to live sections and all, and we started getting Zoom meetings and all. I think it helped, and I think in my company, one of my friends' company in the UAE, he said they made three over 300% profit during lockdown. I know people that were not virtual, their shops closed down, which shows you that the importance of social media. I wanted us to add so many things about on this episode of the show, but we're going to be slowing it down. When we have other meetings, we can have a series that we can talk about this. So, Bamishe, before I give you your last question, this is going to be your penultimate question. Bamishe, I want us to talk about brand values. How do you add values to your brand? One of the cogent things I think people want to talk about is integrity. Why integrity? What's this? Okay, you know the lie. Okay, after lie, uncle, you get excellence. Do you have soft skills? Some of I was talking to a banker on Saturday. This I say one of the problems we have in our SMEs in Nigeria, our retailing, is that we don't have good customer service. You know, I've learned over in my stay. Eh, I've learned to say thank you and how are you. Just simple. How are you? Thank you for patronizing. See you again. Simple business language. And it's added a lot of values to what we do as business owners. So, Bam, so what can you say about brand values? Then after that, sorry, Sultan will be coming up to tell us about his event coming up in August. Abba? Then if you have your event coming up, we can now talk about it. Then we tap it from that. So, Bamshe, what can you say about brand values? Brand values.
Um, so brand values, I believe that they vary with industry, the industry that you are in, right? But there are some basic and fundamental values system that a business or any business should run with. And one of them is integrity, like you said. One of them is excellence. One of them is good customer relationship, um, consistency in your product, your consistency in your product excellence, the kind the quality of your product, right? It's quite important that all of those things are necessary for growth, because if you don't have integrity as a business, there's no sustainability to your product, to your service or your product, right? Because like branding is what people say about your business, like we talked about the last time. And if there's no integrity, it means that I cannot refer you to somebody, I can't vouch for you while you are not in the room, right? And you are not going to be in every room. So it's the value that your brand is giving to me that I will carry with, and I'm going to drive with. And I begin to tell people that um, immediately they mention a problem or they mention a particular service that is related to what you do, immediately you pop up in their mind because you are creating value for them. You are giving them value. And I feel like that's one of the things that businesses are transacting now, right? It's the underlining thing that people are exchanging money for, right? They are not just exchanging money for your product. They are exchanging money for the value that that product is giving to them, right? So if there's no value in your product, people won't just buy your product. For example, like photography now, if they expect that your photography is supposed to tell a story and it doesn't tell a story, right? They are going to, maybe they've already paid you the money, but they are not going to come back to you again. Because why? They paid money, they expected value, but you only gave them picture, not value, right? So that's one of the things that I feel like millennials should begin to run with, right? Any business, and I feel like we should appreciate millennials, because I was going to say that millennials are the backbone of the economy. They are the backbone of Nigeria's economy, right? Especially Nigeria, because we've run on oil, and oil is becoming stale, right? And people are beginning to move into content is the new oil, right? Like you have to continuously give content, continuously tell people a story about what you do, who you are, and where you are, right? All of those things are quite important, because at the end of the day, people, basically the basic psychology of people transacting and buying stuff from you is that they patronize you because of how you make them feel, right? So if how you make them feel is they are not comfortable, or they are not satisfied with the way you make them feel, they are never going to refer you, they are never going to sell any product to you, they are not ever going to give you anything. And and when I say millennials are at the backbone of the economy, right? It is that there are there are industries that are beginning to spring up out of passion, right? And those industries are now what people are beginning to put more knowledge into and put more creativity into, and begin to employ guys that can work for them, right? um because we all know that the government is not providing jobs for us, and there are tons and tons of graduates that are coming out today, right? But there are millennials and entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, that have sat down and are beginning to take the things that we see as insignificant I'm making something out of it because the new oil now is content. If I can tell a story about something that I say is insignificant and it creates value for you in turn, it means that there is a business there, and people are going to begin to come into that line, and I begin to create jobs, and there's inflow of cash and outflow of cash. Whereas with our politician, there's just outflow of cash outside the country and no inflow of cash. You understand? So that's just my own thoughts about brand.
Oh my God, it's been. In fact, I don't want to go home again because, like my friend said, Sultan said something. Because Sultan said, content is a new oil. Is a new oil. So if you are thinking of working, yeah, content and technology, you see people pushing out good content every time, and you'll be wondering, I never heard this before. Because I attended a seminar in January that says content is king. So if you are going to be a king, you have to come out with good content that will make me understand that, okay, yeah, this guy actually has something. So thank you guys for I wish I've been able to. Thank you so much for coming on this live. I really appreciate it. Don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted. I'm very, very happy to have you guys here. Like I told Tomiwa sometimes ago, I said, Tomiwa, say, very soon we'll be holding live section and people will be paying. And by the time they pay, we'll all be happy. You know, we are doing this as a charity organization, as charity now. But by the time content comes, we know that everybody is going to enjoy. So thank you so much for coming. So before we go, Sultan, you have a program coming up in August. Okay. Can you please tell us about it?
Okay, so like you mentioned, I founded platform called Visit Quara, platform that showcases Quara in terms of agricultural tourism, educational tourism, recreational activities, and other related stuff. So we have actually been working on the documentation, um, photography, film. We're working on a film for Kwara State. By I think by the end of July, we should be done with our content going around Kwara Central, Kwara North, Kwara South. Hopefully by August or September, we are going to be launching our. We're going to be premiering our film. Kwara State.
Yet, currently, you're working on a project currently, and I wanted to ask you that who they sponsor this. Don't mind me. It's self-sponsored, and what is the things? You see, on the most restaurant, that's the problem we face as youths. If you don't have a big man up there, nobody is ready to sponsor whatever you do. And I think now, listen, my friends on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, it is time for you to sponsor us. Because very soon, if you don't sponsor us and we all do this money, and we sponsor ourselves, you will you will pay money to see also. So thank you guys for coming. So we are looking forward to something from Sultan in July, right? In August, don't worry. In August, we are waiting for something from Sultan. But I'm sure you have something to dish out to the audience.
I would just say that people should follow me on my social media handle. Benovative underscore BENOTIVE. I have it in plan to begin to share some tips and strategies that works now in the age that we are in, and begin to put it on social media, because I feel like it's in demand now, and if we should be able to give, and it's important because we are creating values and we are trying to make Nigeria better, and this is the little way that we can do it, right? And that's why I appreciate what my brother is doing, Sultan, right? um one of the things that, and I'm calling out to government officials and politicians to begin to fund millennials, begin to sponsor millennials, Because the truth is that if you don't even sponsor us and you don't fund us, right? At the end of the day, when what we are doing comes to limelight, we are the ones that are helping the economy to stand. If what Sultan is doing now is exposing people to different areas that you don't know exist in Kwara State, right? And it ends up coming into limelight. That's tourism. That's inflow of cash to the state or to the country that we live in. And you can even now start to, like you said, you went to Landmark and you are paying for every single thing there. You start to monetize it. So why not fund it now and let it come into limelight, and there's cash flow for the economy, right? Instead of harassing us with police and EFCC and everything. Not everybody is Yahoo. Some people are legitimately not sleeping day and night just to make sure that they are at the top of their game and they are making cool money and all. So I'm calling out to government officials and those that have money, right? Once you see a potential and you see a millennial that is interested and has energy for something, fund him or advise him, give him knowledge, sponsor him to where he's going to be able to be effective in whatever that he's doing, right? So that's just my own share. Follow me on Instagram, be innovative on all platforms. I'm going to be dishing out some strategies and tips lately.
Okay, so thank you so much, everybody, for your time. It's been massive content today. This is a new oil, like Sultan had rightly told us, and I have Chapman here with me. So Sultan is from Kwara. I am from Osun State, Omo Jeshanimere, and I have my brother from Oyo State. So we are making Nigeria great again, and we are going to revamp this economy, either you like it or not. I know there are smart guys out there that wants to come live on our program. If you want to come live, just send me a DM, and I know that I'll reach out to you. I'm very sure about that. So from all of us here on the issues, and I told him not to remove his shirt today, but when we started setting up, he removed the shirt, and I think my babe said, this is the real issues. He put her, and we are back. So behind the camera, I have my brother Tomiwa Samuel Agbede. He has been very supportive to anything Zazzy Concepts, Zazzy Foundation, and I have my queen is also behind the camera, and Obubu Esther Amarachi. Thank you so much. And for my supporters, my mom, my parents, my biological parents, my spiritual parents, my friends and family, thank you for the support so far. If you want to have any question to ask us, please feel free to DM us. You can reach out to Sultan on his platform, on his social media handles, or reach out to Bamishi on also his social media handles. Or you want to learn anything, please feel free to reach out to these guys. I know they are going to give you premium for whatever payment you're making. Nothing is free, so don't come to their DM asking them for free jobs. Thank you so much for your time. Until we come your way again, I remain my humble self, Adewumi Titus. I'm the creative director at Zazzy Concept. And don't let me, before I go, don't forget that we have a foundation that caters for school children with disabilities. And what we do is we reach out to them, we give them enough materials for them to be able to have a good, conducive learning environment. So we're going to be reaching out to them by the end of this month for our second outreach. We're going to be giving out tables and chairs. This is not because we are rich, like Bamishe said. Some of us are working tirelessly to make sure that this country is back on its feet. So what we do is we reach out to you guys, we reach out to them, and if you want to support us, I will get support from my friends and family. Like Bamishe said, please, big men, try to support us. Very soon we still go reach where you don't reach, and we'll be able to support people also. So thank you very much for your time. We remain our humble selves. So if you have any business, please feel free to reach us. We'll be glad. My director of program is a sound engineer. If you want to do big gig, please try as much as possible to reach out to him. And I remain yours until we come your way in the next 2 weeks. From all of us, Bamishe and Sultan, we say thank you for having us. We'll see you again. Peace out. Love you. But God loves you more. Mwah.